Hello, and thanks everybody for joining today. My name is Chris Mitchell, Chief Technology Officer here at Inflow Communications, and I'll be leading today's webinar. Today we're going to be talking about an IT admin's view from work from home tools utilizing RingCentral. So RingCentral is a platform that we switched to about 18 months ago. We're a longtime ShoreTel, Mitel partner going back about 15 years or so. But I kind of got tired from an IT perspective of maintaining servers and everything. So, we still have a lot of customers on Mitel ShoreTel, but internally we've, moved to RingCentral, and it actually has made it fairly smooth, transition for us for the work from home aspects around, the current economy and everything. So we're going to be talking about what tools and or applications we're utilizing for that, and then from an IT, view, what does it look like for adminning it and, kind of troubleshooting the applications. So if you haven't had a chance to, hit our website and look at upcoming webinars, I got a couple of them coming up. This one's on RingCentral, but as you know, if you've been around our webinars a lot, most of our webinars are around the Mitel, ShoreTel platform. So we do have one coming up next week on the best practices for setting up the Edge Gateway. So that's for the Mitel ShoreTel Connect platform. So if you have remote users that might benefit from the desktop application or a physical, phone, at an office, home office or something like that, that'll be a great webinar next week to kind of talk through that, for customers that are currently, on that Mitel system, a Mitel ShoreTel system. And then we also have a user training coming up on the 2nd around the mobility client. So we're focusing a lot of our webinars right now around remote workers and Edge Gateway mobility, stuff like that companies are asking us about a lot, for remote workers and to allow people to work from wherever they need to. So great webinars coming up. If you haven't had a chance to register for those, hit the website and register for those. Quick agenda. I'll do a quick introduction of who's Inflow Communications if you're, newer to our webinar series, and I'll jump right into talking about the applications that we use from RingCentral. And then after that, I'll jump into the IT, the IT side of it, and talk through. And if I have time, I'll even, share out my screen, and I can jump into the admin interface live if we have some questions around that as well. So a little bit of time at the end for question and answer, and then I'll, wrap up with the Contact Us page if you have other questions, or maybe you want to see a full demo or talk through, what you can do. Maybe you're not ready to go full cloud, but, you want some aspects of it. We could talk through the meetings portion of it, or maybe the instant messaging only portion, stuff like that. Or just, maybe you want to talk through some setups or things you can do on your current Mitel, ShoreTel system. Great, we're here to answer those questions and help you through those things. All right, so who is Inflow Communications? We're a unified communications and contact center company. That's all we do. We're a Mitel ShoreTel Platinum partner, a RingCentral Delivery partner, which is their highest tier, and a Genesys Pure Cloud Gold partner, which is, their highest tier as well on those. So we do a lot of our business, like I said, around the Mitel ShoreTel, but a lot of our customers are looking to move to the cloud. That's why we've picked up a couple of options around RingCentral, Genesys, even the Mitel, cloud platform as well. We have a variety of options for customers. We have employees in offices in 10 different states, over 250,000 users that we support, spreading over 800 customers, with headquarters nationwide, but offices all over the world. So we're maniacal about customer experience. If you hit our webpage, you can see our stats from our Salesforce ticketing system, response times, customer satisfaction, case comments, and stuff like that. So feel free to hit that up. Let us know if you have any questions or on that. Our customers span all kinds of, markets and locations and stuff. These are just a few of our, our marquee accounts. All right, so we're going to jump right in. So as I'm going through this, if you have any questions, feel free to post them into the question section. I have that up on my other screen here so I can see the questions. I'll try to answer them as I go through, each of the sections. Any questions I can't get to, I'll get to the question and answer, or if I need to follow up with an email afterwards because maybe I need to do some research, I'll do that as well. But feel free to post any questions you have into the question section as we go. All right, so remote worker applications. So with the RingCentral platform that we're utilizing, there's a variety of different applications kind of to fit your different needs. And, so I'm going to be talking about a few of the applications and some of the integrations and stuff that, that we've used and and some of our customers are utilizing. So the biggest thing that we're utilizing right now is the RingCentral meetings. Very similar to like a GoToMeeting, a WebEx. You know, RingCentral meeting is powered by Zoom, so RingCentral and Zoom have a, you know, an OEM kind of a relationship that RingCentral is able to spin up their own version of the Zoom and rebrand it as RingCentral meetings. So the nice thing is, you know, Zoom's really big out there, you know, especially right now, there's a ton of people utilizing it. So it gives you the ability with the meetings to, you know, host your own video meetings, share your screen, use virtual backgrounds, which is always fun, you know, when you're doing a video meeting. Host large meetings up to 500 people in it. So if you need to, you know, host small or large meetings, and they can be audio only, they can be video, you know, desktop sharing, all that ability. You know, you have a lot of flexibility when you're looking, you know, to host different types of meetings. The desktop application is probably the, you know, the most commonly used application with RingCentral. So the desktop application has a bunch of functionality in it. So it has instant messaging, so I can instant message with my coworkers on an individual basis or on like a department or group basis. So I can have like a sales group. If I need to post a question over to the sales team for a price or something like that, I can drop a, you know, instant message into that team. The other really cool thing about the desktop application is it allows me to instant message with anybody who has a RingCentral account. So if we have a customer who has RingCentral, I can instant message with them. If I need to post a question to one of the sales engineers at RingCentral, I can instant message them. The other cool thing with that instant messaging capability is you can sign up for a free account. You don't have to have a paid RingCentral subscription for instant messaging. You know, we have some companies that we work with, and they just set up RingCentral, you know, free instant messaging accounts, and then we can instant message back and forth with them, put them in groups, you know, if we're doing, you know, a project with them or something. So there is some nice free use cases for the instant messaging platform from RingCentral. The other thing you can do in the application is you can send and receive SMS text messages. So, you know, every user gets a DID, and they're able to send and receive text messages on that DID, which is nice. I'll go to a couple of conferences lately, you know, or when I was going to conferences, and I hand up a business card. The next day I'd get a text message inside my RingCentral app, and it's like, hey, and it was nice meeting you yesterday. And I was like, they just texted the phone number on business card. It's, you know, becoming more and more common. So nice, you know, nice functionality there. Obviously, when the desktop application, you can place and receive phone calls. You know, that I would say that's a standard functionality, you know, that everybody expects from the desktop application. One really unique tool that's nice that we've been utilizing a lot in that when you place calls in the desktop application, you can actually change your caller ID via a drop-down menu. So as you're going to place a call, there's a little drop-down menu, and you can select like your phone number. Maybe you're part of like a sales group or, you know, like a small call queue, or maybe you just want to post like your 800 number as your outbound caller ID. So we've set up all of our support people to, when they call out, they can send out the 800 number. So that when people call back in, they're not calling back into an individual user, they're calling back into a queue. You know, so there's some functionality like that where you can change the caller ID via a drop-down menu, which is nice. Other things you can do is you can send and receive faxes. RingCentral started actually as a faxing company years ago when they started up, and they've kind of kept that functionality. So every user has their own fax server capabilities, so they can send and receive fax. It makes it very secure, so it meets PHI, HIPAA guidelines and everything like that, because there's not a shared fax that everybody has access to. It's an individual fax box that goes directly to that user's application. Voicemail, the other cool thing with voicemail is all RingCentral users in the app, you get voicemail transcription. So if I'm in the app and I click on voicemail, I click on one of them, it'll give me the transcription of that voicemail. And I would say it's probably 80–85% accurate. It's pretty good. Accents typically are the hardest thing it has translation issues with, but it's pretty accurate compared to anything else out there. It's I would say comparable to everything else. And then obviously with the desktop application, I can start video calls, desktop sharing sessions like that with my coworkers and stuff as well. So really nice functionality from the desktop application. It's one application that kind of merges the instant messaging and the phone calling piece all into one, which is nice. RingCentral is a really nice mobile application, probably the nicest mobile application that I've tested so far, and I think I have like 4 or 5 loaded on my cell phone right now. they did a really good job in the mobile application that you can literally do everything I can do on my desktop application in the mobile application. I can start a video meeting. I can, I can share on my iPhone in a meeting. I can see somebody else sharing out their screen, on my iPhone. Instant message, phone call, text. I even test it out. I can send a fax from the mobile application. So they've really rolled all the functionality from the desktop application into the mobile application, and so you don't lose any functionality if you have to go on the road, or maybe you're a salesperson who doesn't sit in an office very often. The other functionality you get is iPhone and Android capabilities, so those are great. And they've even rolled in admin and billing functions into the app. So, if you're an IT person, you need to reset a user's password, you can actually do it from the mobile application instead of having to try to launch the admin interface and reset a user's password. They've built in the admin functions and be able to look at the billing, the bills and stuff like that on usage and stuff built into the mobile application. So really cool functionality inside the mobile app. The Teams integration is one that we've been seeing a lot lately. I have it set up on my Teams demo environment and everything, and a lot of companies are utilizing Teams already for instant messaging, so they want to kind of stay with that platform because their users are used to it already. But maybe they don't like some of the call functionality or meeting functionality inside of Teams. Well, RingCentral can integrate in with the Teams piece, and what it does is it allows you to replace the Teams calling function with the RingCentral calling. So you can see this screenshot in the top right corner here with the orange icons in the purple. That's a screenshot from Teams. So you can see all the buttons have been, there's usually purple buttons right there, and they've been replaced with orange RingCentral buttons. So the calling has been replaced with RingCentral calling. The video meetings has been replaced with the RingCentral meetings powered by Zoom. And then it adds a third button, that little blue, like message icon. That's SMS texting. So it adds SMS texting into the Teams application, and you can use it with the Teams web. If you're just using the website for Teams or the desktop application, it supports both now. That's a recent update from RingCentral. So if you're a company who utilizes Teams, but maybe you want some added functionality around a call center or ring groups or something like that, that's a way for RingCentral to kind of provide those functionality without replacing the instant messaging platform that that your team is used to with the Microsoft Teams. Another popular integration is the Google integration. We're actually a Google Apps Gmail shop as a company. So this is a really cool integration that we've done with the Google integration. So it comes with as a Chrome plugin. So you can install a Chrome plugin. You can see this in the bottom right-hand corner here. Is on the right side of Chrome, it just opens up a little, RingCentral, dialer application. Allows me to place, receive calls, check my voicemail, start a conference, audio or video conference, all that kind of functionality within the browser. The other nice things it does from a Google integration is you can do a back-end integration with RingCentral in the Google admin interface to integrate in RingCentral meetings into your Google org. What that does is allows users who are in the Google Calendar to, which is nice for like school districts and stuff like that, is they can schedule their meetings inside the Google Calendar. I don't have to launch a separate meetings app or anything like that. I can, right from my Google Calendar, I can schedule, my meetings, audio or video meetings. The other nice thing you can do is any phone number in Google Chrome becomes dialable. So it highlights any phone number like as an orange phone number. So if I type in Domino's Pizza, because maybe I want to order some food, every Domino's Pizza number in Chrome would just highlight as orange. I can single click to dial it, and it just dials it in RingCentral for me. So the Google integration is one of the most popular integrations, and it's one of the reasons some of the school districts that have signed on with RingCentral, the reason they have with Google Apps for education and stuff being free in most cases, they can utilize that integration and make it easy for the teachers to, check voicemail because it's transcription, schedule meetings and stuff like that. And right now, utilizing it, my kids are doing, web meetings and stuff and video meetings with their teachers right now. So it's been really cool to be able to see that functionality, available to them. The other thing you have access to is that we have access to is the RingCentral App Gallery. So there's over 160 integrations right now available, and they're every single month more and more integrations come out because RingCentral uses an open API, which allows anybody to write integrations with it. So we utilize a variety of integrations. I have the Teams one, in the Google integration, but I also use like the Salesforce integration. We use Salesforce, and inside the desktop application and inside the Salesforce web interface, there's 2 different integrations we're utilizing. So when a phone call comes in and I have my Salesforce screen up, I can screen pop by phone number. So, customers calling in, Domino's Pizza is one of our customers. If I get a call from Mark, his caller ID screen pops into Salesforce. Salesforce then pulls up Mark's account for me automatically when I answer the call. Nice functionality, no additional cost for that functionality, which is great. And most of the integrations that are available from RingCentral have no cost to them. The other one I have is the desktop application integration. So if somebody sends me a Salesforce link in my desktop application, I can actually click on it inside my application and see the Salesforce information. I can actually post a Salesforce note from within the desktop application and then post into Salesforce. Anybody in Salesforce can see it there. So there's multiple integrations and a ton of different integrations I have a Google Drive integration, so I can upload and attach files to the desktop application, but there's a variety of Dropbox and Box integrations for other file storage platforms as well. So a lot of different use cases for the different applications. There's one other application I didn't put on here because we don't use it very often. There's a RingCentral phone application. It's a desktop application that allows you to just have the phone capabilities. If you don't need all the instant messaging platform, and stuff like that, they have just a straight phone application that allows you to place calls, receive calls, check your voicemail, SMS, text, and fax. All just within a regular phone application. That's typically what a lot of like an operator would use, where they want like a big display of all the users where they can drag, they can transfer calls easier. The heads-up display, that's kind of more of an operator or company who doesn't need to use the instant messaging available. So we don't use it internally, but it is available. The other thing that's really nice about these applications is because it's all stored, in public data centers, that RingCentral manages. These applications work from anywhere. The desktop application can be logged in via web browser. So if you don't want to run a desktop application, or maybe you have employees who are using their own personal computers, they can simply launch a website and use the desktop application to be a web app instead. So you don't have to necessarily install anything for that. You can run the web version, and allows an instant message, place phone calls over a soft phone, those kind of that functionality without having to install anything on a local desktop, which is nice. All right, I think I got to all of the questions, a couple questions that came in. I think I answered them in what I was talking about, so that's good there. All right, so now we're going to kind of hop over and talk about from an IT perspective, and what a lot of our IT company or customers that we talk to, what they're worried about is if they do go to a cloud platform, what can and can't they do as an IT admin, or what things they lose control of, or is reporting different, is logging different, stuff like that, they're worried about losing control and having to rely on somebody else for basic functionality, changes or user changes to the system. So that's one thing that I really like about RingCentral is from an IT perspective, they give you a lot of tools in flexibility, so you can do a lot of it. You can open a ticket with RingCentral. Our support team also offers RingCentral support, so our team can help support it as well. So you get a nice web-based admin tool. So the top picture here shows you the web-based admin tool. It allows you to change your business hours, set your company caller ID settings, right off the bat. Those are just on the main screen. You have auto attendant capabilities where you can have multiple auto attendants. You can have multi-level auto attendants, if you need to put department, auto attendants underneath your main auto attendant. You have call groups, similar if you're, from the, ShoreTel world, it's like a mixture between a hunt group and a work group is what they call their call group. It's assigned to users, but there's a queuing capability, a voicemail capability, roll over to different groups for overflow. But it doesn't have like logged in, log out capabilities, to the groups. But it's kind of a mixture, like I said, between hunt groups and work groups from a functionality standpoint. And then RingCentral, they have a full contact center platform if you need that. But groups, we find, does a really good job of replacing kind of the work group, hunt group functionality that's built into the Mitel ShoreTel system. With that web-based admin tool, you get permissions-based login, so you can have help desk, users who log in and fix users. You have, network people, or full, sysadmins who may manage the whole system. Other nice things you can do from it is you can instantly buy phone numbers all over the world. Like just for testing, like I bought a phone number in, on a demo like a month ago in, I think it was Germany or France. They just want to say, look, could you actually buy one? Boom, I logged in, looked at the available phone numbers, added it, boom, within 30 seconds, that number was provisioned on our org. So buying phone numbers is really easy all over the world. You can set up and manage the call groups, like I said. The RingCentral uses SIP-based phones. The bulk of our customers that utilize RingCentral and our employees use soft phones. They use some kind of a headset. I'm on a Plantronics headset right now. But they do support a variety of third-party SIP phones. So if it's a SIP-based phone that's actually true SIP, then you'll be able to get it to work on RingCentral. So Polycom, Yealink, some of the Cisco phones. I haven't been able to get a Mitel or ShoreTel phone working yet because, well, actually, one of the RingCentral got a couple of the Mitel phones working that are actually true SIP phones, but I haven't been able to get any of the ShoreTel phones working yet because they've locked those phones down and they restrict some of the SIP settings on them. But we do have a variety of phones already working on the RingCentral platform. Let's see. The really nice thing is you get 100% full admin rights. So with a lot of the platforms out there, there's only certain things you can do as an IT admin. Then you have to open a case with the manufacturer and say, can you add me another block of phone numbers, or can you can you ship this this particular phone to a user or something like that. There's a lot of stuff in some systems you have to ask for help for. That's one thing I really like about the RingCentral platform is you can literally spin up a trial org and you can build your own call flow, buy your own phone numbers, set up your own users, use your own phones, or right off their website you can buy their phones and have them shipped out to you. Use your own headsets. There's all the flexibility, but you can literally set up all of your own users from start to finish without having to open up a case with anybody else. As you open up a new location, you can set up a whole other site with call flow and phone numbers and all that stuff without having to open up a case. Sure, you have support available if you need it, but it's your own instance and it's fully configurable by you. And then you can ask for assistance as needed. But that's one thing that's very unique to the RingCentral platform. One of the things that I see a question about is the audit trail. So one thing that's sorely lacking, in the Mitel ShoreTel Connect system is an audit trail. Sure, I can log, in the Mitel system, I can see if somebody logged in or logged out, but that's about it. I don't have any more audit trail. With this, they just rolled this out, I would say, in the last 3 months, a full audit trail. So I pulled it up just prepping for this yesterday to look through the audit trail, and I can see anytime somebody logged in, anytime somebody created a meeting, even is logged in there. But then also it shows me when somebody logged into the admin interface. If another admin logged in, I can still see if they changed the hours, if they reset a user's password, if they looked at a report, what report did they look at? It has a full audit trail that's stored for 180 days. So you get a full 6-month audit trail built into the system. You can also export that audit trail report log to an Excel file. So if you need to keep more than 180 days, you simply just hop in, every few months, dump it to an Excel file, store that on network storage, somewhere like that. So you have longer than 180-day trial or day audit log. I'm sure we could request to RingCentral to extend that. But easy way to get as long as you want is just simply download those to Excel. Other things you can do with that audit trail is you can search for by filter. Maybe you want to see how many bad login attempts have we had, how many accounts got locked because they tried the password wrong too many times. There's a bunch of different filters you can run on that to see exactly what's going on in the system, or maybe who made what particular change. If you're looking for a call flow change that affected something, go back, search by extension in the audit log, and and say, oh, yep, here we go. I can see that Chris made this. He made a call flow change to this group on Monday. So really cool functionality that's been missing from the ShoreTel system for a long time. Reporting. This is always big. Customers always ask, well, what kind of reporting, do I get? Am I going to lose functionality in reporting? And I would say in a lot of cloud systems, yes, you would lose reporting capabilities, but not so with the RingCentral system. They rolled out a new analytics portal last year that really greatly enhanced the reporting capabilities. So I can run group level like queue reports. Inside those queue reports, I can look at like abandoned calls, answered, how many answered calls, how many calls I put on hold, how many calls rang to a group and, or user and, they didn't answer, they missed it. How many calls went to voicemail? What was the average, the number of calls in a day? What was the average handle time, speed of answer, the average abandon rate, the total talk time, total hold time, all that kind of stuff I can track. There's like 40 different metrics on a group that I can track, which is pretty comparable to what you could do on a work group on the Mitel side. Then you have full user reporting. So for user reports, I can see average talk time, average ring time, how many calls went to voicemail, how many calls did they transfer, did they put on hold, all that kind of stuff. But then you can take that one step further with your groups or your users. You can go down to a call reporting and get full cradle to grave reporting. So by default, you can't get this, in the Mitel ShoreTel platform. That's why we give bright metrics to all of our customers. If you're, an Inflow customer on the Mitel platform, if you have access to bright metrics, or if you don't, you can get access to it, through us at no cost. And bright metrics gives you a more like, RingCentral-like reporting setup. So you could do scheduled reports, like you could do a bright metrics as well, and then like I said, the full cradle to grave capability, which is really nice. One thing they just introduced is live dashboards. So live dashboards was a new addition over the past few months, and you can see a screenshot on the bottom left here of the live dashboard. So you can see how many calls are queued up, what are your agent statuses right now, are you hitting your service level agreements? Maybe you want to answer every call within 2 minutes. You can see that. You can see call volume for the day. You can customize those views, and those views can be set up, for supervisors, for agents. There's even a view that allows you to do wallboard view. So maybe it opens up full screen, so you can put it up on like a TV or something, in your, in one of your departments or something. So the live reports or live dashboards is a newer functionality that they've kind of rolled out for companies that maybe don't need a full contact center, but they still want some, some live stats to be able to show agents, okay, maybe there's 3 people already on lunch, so maybe I won't go to lunch right now or take a break, so those live dashboards give you that functionality. I see another question here around the quality of service. So quality of service is a huge thing when you're talking about moving all of your users to, to home, is how do you maintain call quality? That's the biggest question we get. And that's what somebody asked, is there a way to track call quality? And there is. With the quality of service reports, that's what you see in the bottom right-hand corner. It tracks every single call that comes in or out of the RingCentral system and scores it with a mean opinion score, a MOS score. So in this diagram, you can kind of see that where it says 97% good, that's showing that 97% of the calls were good, and then that other 3% were either moderate or bad. So what I would do in that case is I could click on that little red sliver, which is probably about 2%. I could click on that, and it would show me every call that's bad. And then I can start, tracking down, okay, what's the pattern, for call quality issues on this? Is it ping times? Is it packet loss? Is it, the country that, the caller is coming from, or the region, or maybe is it a carrier? We can track it all the way down to the carrier level and see, were they using a Wi-Fi connection or an Ethernet connection? Were they using a mobile application or the desktop application or physical phone? It tracks all of that information and allows me to, to report on it and kind of build out a pattern to figure out, okay, oh, it looks like it's just this one user who's continually having an issue. Let's take a look at that user's home internet. Let's do some testing on that. But it has enough information that we can typically build out a pattern and figure out where, where our issues are occurring, because every single call cradle to grave is tracked, and it tracks it in a dual channel method. So when I look at every single call in the quality monitoring tool, it would show my leg of the call and the customer leg of the call. So if, let's just say Mark from Domino's picks up the phone and calls me, it'll show his leg of the call coming to RingCentral, and then my leg of the call coming from my house up to RingCentral, and it tracks both legs of the call separately. So I can see, oh, there was call quality issues on this. Okay, was it on my side or was it on the customer side of the call? It allows me to see ping times, packet loss, all that kind of stuff available on both ends of the call. Obviously, if it's on the customer side of the call, there's not much I can do about that. I mean, the packet loss occurred between RingCentral and his, and the other carrier or cell phone a carrier. So not much I could do about that, but it allows me to track that down and really get an understanding of how are those issues occurring and how can we fix them. All right, well, I don't see any questions as we're right at time here that I didn't answer. So if you do have questions, or maybe you want to see a demo, I have a demo environment also for RingCentral. If it's something you wanted to maybe try out but not necessarily do a full RingCentral proof of concept or trial, I can get you a login into my demo environment for RingCentral and allow you to test out the mobile application, the desktop application, the meetings, or something like that. But there's a lot of trials you could do right now as well. So if you have questions, you want to talk through a scenario or maybe an issue you're having with some of your remote workers, send us an email, reach out to your account manager or sales rep, and we'll hop on a call with one of the sales engineers and kind of talk through the issue you're having around, maybe soft phone or, remote workers, and see if we can help, either troubleshoot it, find a workaround, or find a solution that can help, solve your business needs. So thanks for joining today, and we look forward to seeing you on another webinar in the future.